Manchester United 4, Athletic Bilbao 1, 7-1 on aggregate. United through to the Europa League final. Stephen Howson joins me. What did you make of the game tonight, Steve? And are United, well, are we on the cusp of being a little bit back in a way?
No.
Oh, come on! Come on, Steve!
No, we're not.
All right.
We're not. We're absolutely not. We're f***ing miles off it. But we are better in Europe.
There you go.
The issue is Tottenham a European game or is it a domestic game? Because that's literally going to be what decides it for us. And obviously it's not a case of like, tell them it's in Europe, it's in a foreign country. None of that matters. It's basically the pace, power, physicality of the Premier League is what these players or this system currently has a drama and an issue with. So if it's a continental style Spurs, yeah, just start polishing trophies and medals and shit and get ready for the parade if we have one. Probably won't have one, but if it's not, if it's a Premier League style Spurs, it could be in for a long game. The difference maker, I do believe, though, regardless of whether it's continental Spurs or Premier League Spurs, and it is just Spurs, which should be a thing, man. I should be able to say, lads, it's Spurs for Christ's sake. Amad Diallo should make the difference either way.
Well, I obviously want to talk about him because that's where the game changed. But let's go back a little bit to the first half and the start of that second half.
1974.
Yeah, let's go all the way back. No, the first half, Bilbao, I think it sort of started much like the last leg where we looked a little bit sloppy. They seemed to be up for it. And then United kind of rose, lifted the game up a bit toward the end of the first half. Then obviously Bilbao score, and at that point, what's going through your mind? Are you thinking we might crumble here, or did you expect them to do what they did?
I thought we were nervous. I thought it was very much in our minds because 3-0 in your head is home and hosed. It's such an awkward position to be in. It's like being 3-0 up at half time. You're trying to tell the lads, you need to go out and play exactly the same way you did in the first half. But human nature, lads' inherent internal motivations, they're not gonna. And in that same situation, you kick it off today. You can't be like, we have to make sure we score first. You have to, you can't say them things with any level of conviction because, like you said, as long as we don't concede 2 or 3, we're done. And we are capable of going out there and not conceding 2 or 3. So it's a on one hand, it's a great position to start a game in. On the other hand, it's a really horrible position to start a game in because your objectives aren't clear. For Bilbao, it's so clear for them. Just get out there and score first. And sometimes the simpler sort of machinations of what can happen make it easier to go and achieve that. For United, it's kind of like, well, don't let them in the game. We don't really need to go and score one, but we could do with them not really scoring one in the first half. And it's just... It's like with the lack of clarity and direction can mean that you end up just fluffing your lines a little bit, and that's what we did. We looked like we knew them scoring could be a problem for us because then, as you've seen in Europe over the last few days, people can get a little bit of a roll on, and it can start being problematic. Especially if they'd have got 2. It could have been problematic. Now, obviously, yeah, they started off well. They started off a lot better than us. And again, it was that nervous kind of energy from United. There was a lack of conviction. And then they get their goal. Sloppy passing, lack of care. They score a rocket. But we didn't panic and didn't crumble. And I thought, yeah, as the game got further ahead, we did have chances. Garnacho absolutely should have scored his. We started to create a little bit more chances. We started to just nip up those little areas that they were finding gaps. And then the substitutions came and the introduction of Amad. It was like he'd been, maybe he wasn't part of the briefing before the game. And he had his own little separate briefing. Or he didn't listen and didn't care and was like, I'm going to go win this game. And I know he technically comes away with an assist, but I personally think he was the difference maker. Yeah. And Mount's first goal, I was like, right, job done. As soon as we got that first goal, I thought it was job done. We didn't need the next 3, really. But I felt like it was the incision of Ahmad that really made the difference. And it seems to me every time he gets it, you feel like something's going to happen with him. He's so good.
What do you take from the fact that we did go on to get those next three? And I know obviously at that point Bilbao probably dropped 25% because, again, human nature, they know they're out. How could you not? But do you take any sort of positives and any kind of like buoyancy from the fact that we did push on and we did get more and we did get more? Do you think that can be a bit of confidence builder going forward, that we are a team that can score goals? It's, 7 goals in this tie, another 3 at the weekend. Again we lost, but that's 10 goals in a week. We haven't done that much in recent memory.
Well, I'll go further than that. So we've scored 42 Premier League goals, right? Is it in 35 matches?
Yeah, I believe so. I'll double check as you're talking.
I think it's 42 goals, right, in 35 matches. Do you know how many we've scored in the Europa League this season?
I mean, from the fact you're saying this, I guess it's quite a few, but I'd probably guess 20.
35 goals in 13 games.
Wow. That is good. That's really good. That's nearly 3 goals a game. What are we on about? We don't do that. So
actually, it's 14 games. But yeah.
So is that? Does that tell you that there is a system here? I know obviously some of that was Ten Hag, wasn't it? But a lot of it was Amorim. That there is a system here that can work if you get the right players to outmatch your opposition in the ways we see in the Europa League, or does it tell you that what Amorim's trying to do is always going to struggle in the Premier League? What side of that argument do you fall down on?
Neither.
Okay.
I think the system clearly has strengths that are aligned to Europa League or European competition, hopefully, as we will soon be, hopefully, a Champions League team next season if everything goes to plan against Spurs. But I still think that this attack, regardless of the fact that it's just scored 30 odd in whatever, I still don't think it scores goals in the Premier League. I think for whatever reason, this attack is still subpar for where it needs to be. And I'll die on that hill. I think if you get in a reliable goal scorer, I am more than happy with Ahmad to be one of those sort of number 10s. If, let's say, for instance, Cunha is one of the other number 10s, I think you've got a fairly potent looking forward line. Still not perfect. Still gaps, still places to fill in. Probably still requires another midfielder. Possibly requires a first choice option as a right wing back, unless you're going to play Bruno and Cunha off the striker, which is, again, not mad at. I thought Bruno again was fantastic tonight. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily think it's a case of either or. I think it's a case of it's a work in progress. Hopefully there's been issues and things he's learned from this season and has got some ideas on how to combat that ahead of next season. It's not necessarily a formational thing. I really don't think that. I think it's very much a personnel thing.
Looking ahead a little bit then, Tottenham's such a, in a way, like you said, the 3-0 lead can almost be deceptively muddied almost. It sort of muddies what the tactics might be. Tottenham is such a horrific team to play in a final because if you lose, it is the worst day of your life. Like, it's such a... And obviously the players won't feel this as much as we do, people who are online constantly seeing how Tottenham are treated and all that sort of stuff. But is there a part of you that wishes it was sort of anyone but Tottenham a little bit? Because if we do lose, it's going to be horrific.
Not sure, because sometimes we lost in a semi-final in 2007. Do you remember who we lost in a semi-final to?
AC Milan?
Do you remember who was waiting for us in the final?
Arsenal? Was it? Liverpool, of course, yeah. The rematch against Milan, obviously, yeah.
The greater the risk, the greater the reward.
But that's if you get the reward, isn't it?
Yes.
You have to get it.
But yeah, so the higher the high, Joe, the lower the lows.
It's going to be such a low. But let's hope it's the high. Do you think it will be the high? How do you see that panning out? Like I was saying before, and obviously I was 15 and I hadn't been watching games the way I do now. But I felt like that Chelsea United game in 2008 was unlike Premier League games that we'd had between us. It felt more open. It felt more of a European tie almost than the previous sort of close, cagey games that we seem to have against Chelsea. Do you think it will feel like a Premier League game, or will there be an element of it's on foreign soil, it's a cup final? Could it feel a bit more of a European game, even though it's two Premier League teams?
I actually don't know which suits us best at the moment. I think they kind of thrive in the chaos, and I don't really fucking fully know what we thrive in, to be honest. We thrive in Europa League.
Yeah.
So let's hope it's Europa League, and maybe finals generally tend to be boring. It's not common for finals to be open-ended battles. I don't know if we've seen Amorim go and win a game he was required to win. The league form suggests no, but then he came in early doors and put in a pretty good showing up against Manchester City when we all thought we were getting dicked all over. But then he loses to teams that you go, "They're shit. Why have we lost to them?" I don't know. I don't know. I think if Amad Diallo starts, you've got as good a chance as any. If De Ligt was fit and Amad was fit, and I mean fit, not just like we're starting them, because there's a difference between starting and being fit. But I think if they were both fit, I would be very confident, providing there's no other injuries that haven't, like Bruno or something. Yeah. I think probably play a relatively strong side this weekend against West Ham. Absolutely nobody plays against Chelsea on that
We're
Friday.
playing that one.
Honestly, yeah. I think if you've got your boots and you're on your way down, you're half a chance that you're going to be playing. And that's how it absolutely should be, by the way. Like, I don't give a... Maybe there's someone who needs a 20-minute little sharpen up, tune up. They can get 20 minutes at the end. Everybody else is wrapped in cotton wool and tucked up in bed and watching it on an iPad. Make no risk with that one at all, especially the likes of Ahmad, because for me, he is United's match winner in this. And if he starts and he performs, Manchester United are in the Champions League next year. And that's not to discredit a Bruno or a Casemiro, who I've got a sneaky suspicion he's going to have a big say in how this final goes down. I think Lenny Euro could have a say in how this final goes down. There's been some really strong performances, consistent performances late. It's the sort of game where you kind of hope Ugarte turns up, because that could be a big one. Mazraoui, I think, has been very reliable. You need all of those players to do well. My worry is Spurs are just as bad as us. So I don't know how you prepare for a team that's unpredictably shit.
They're unpredictably shit, but they beat us all the time. It's a really hard... We haven't beat them in 6 games, and they've won, I think, the last 4, which is mad. So, yeah, it's going to be awful. Just one word on you mentioned Yoro, which I think he was brilliant and has been such an important signing this summer, or last summer. Casemiro, though, is like gone from being nowhere near, don't put him on the pitch for Man United, to sort of invaluable in these games. Not just his performances, but he seems to be sort of backing himself. He's got his chest out again. He's a leader again. How important will he be in the final with what he's won and even winning stuff at United in the last couple of seasons? Do you see him as a big game changer in that?
Got to, surely. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who Spurs have got in terms of like people that have won stuff.
I was looking at this before. I had their squad up, and you're looking through it. There's not many. I mean, did Timo Werner did he win the World Cup with Germany? Was he in the squad? Like, I'm looking at some of their players. Romero won the World Cup, I guess, for Argentina. That's a pretty big one. But you look through the rest of it. Even like Son, he's been there for a decade and not won anything. There isn't a lot of that, and we've got obviously Mason Mount as well, goes under the radar as a Champions League winner, and Casemiro with 5. Yeah, do you think that could be the difference?
I have to, to be honest with you. I have to. I think pedigree, and the two teams that line up, the two badges that line up, there should be no contest between the Manchester United badge and the weight that carries, and the Spurs badge and the weight that carries. But there are upsets in finals, and there are changing of the guard, and United, absolutely could be in an era at the moment where there is a changing of the guard. It'd be absolutely nuts to say otherwise. However, most of this squad have got a medal. A lot of them have got two. And some of them have got like trophy rooms, like Casemiro. So I would say on the balance of things, this United team seems to have certainly more of a knack in cup finals than the Spurs team does. I would also see, it feels like, I haven't got the data in front of me, but it feels like Ruben Amorim has got more of a knack in finals than Ange's got. He's won a bit more. I think. I know Ange did a bit of a madness with the likes of, was it Olympiacos? So I don't know on the data of that. It feels like he's done a bit more. Ange is a weird one, man, because at times he feels like he is the most fucking frustrated man on earth with his players, with the fan base, with the media, and I don't think he gets a 10 for the stick that anyone at United's ever got.
Yeah.
It's a weird one to paint, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think they'll come at you though.
Almost certain. Almost. That's just what he does. I'm just trying to look at his trophies as a manager. I mean, he's won some trophies for South Melbourne. He's won the Scottish Premiership, obviously, twice. Scottish Cup, Scottish League Cup. Again, it's how do you rank winning a Scottish League Cup with Celtic compared to winning trophies with a Sporting that's not one of the it's one of the big three, but it's the smallest of the big three in Portugal. Yeah, those things are the sort of little moments that you're not sure about. And you go back before, like you said, about winning games that you have to win. We didn't win it, but we put in a very good performance against Liverpool, that 2-2 at Anfield. We've beaten Man City. We beat Arsenal in the FA Cup, all under Amorim. It's almost like sometimes the bigger the games, the better we are. Like, look at this tie. Before the tie, 7-1 on aggregate. I would have never believed that. And it's not all him and red cards help and all that, but here we are in the final. I think hopefully, like you said, all those things put together give us a bit of a benefit and a bonus in that final.
What? Those first couple of months of Amorim, I think we had, was it City, Liverpool, Arsenal all the way, and did we not lose any of them?
Yeah, we didn't lose any. Not bad. Oh, it's nerve-wracking. And then Ahmad got injured, but he's back and hopefully he can stay fit. Hopefully he'll be just ready to be starting that game. A few minutes here, a few minutes there, starting in Bilbao.
Just shy of 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. 2 weeks yesterday. Very exciting. Right, cheers, Steve. I'm nervous already. We've got like 3 league games or whatever is between now and then, and I'm already shitting myself. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining us at home.
Have we though?
Well, no. We've got 3 training games before then, or 2, whatever it is. Thank you very much for joining us at home. Manchester United are through to another final. The fourth final in 3 years. That's not bad, is it? That is not bad at all.
Joe, our banter era is most teams' golden era.
Not bad, is it? It ain't bad. I mean, we're 15th in the league, but might get Champions League football. That'd be nice. See you in a bit.